Mic check. It's time for In the Trenches. Bucks
Hello,
battles.
everybody. Welcome back to In the Trenches. My name is Ian Beckles, and first, let's pay some bills. This wouldn't be possible without my people at Manny and Gordon. Check them out at fightnegligence.com. All right, Buccaneers get her done yesterday. Raymond James Stadium, 20-17 against the Cardinals. You know when they say a win's a win? Let's start off by that. A win's a win. There's a lot of teams that lost yesterday that would love to be sitting where we are, and that's in a run for a playoff after a win, right? That being said, you have to evaluate wins and losses the same. I've said that before. You can win and look bad, and you can lose and look good. It's just about what did you do to make it last? Like, what did we do to make us look down the way and say we're actually developing something and building something? Because you can shift your season. NFL teams shift their season all the time. They don't do it. It happens. If you go back 6 weeks ago, there was people saying the Buccaneers were the best football team in the NFL. It's not today. So that means we shifted. We went from the best team in the NFL, and in the next 6 weeks, we shifted to get the hell out of that. You can shift back into it. Listen, you play yesterday against the Cardinals. I think we're better than the Cardinals. We're better than New Orleans Saints, all right? The Carolina Panthers, I don't know what they are. I mean, I haven't really seen them. I haven't watched them a whole lot this year. You can't fake wins, by the way. Like I just said in the NFL, you can't fake wins. And they're winning in the back end of a football season and beating good football teams. That's a good football team, all right? So for those of you that penciled the beginning of the year, for those of you that like to go at the schedule at the beginning and go check, win, loss, check, win, there's no way that you checked off both Carolina wins, okay? Because I think, actually, there's a chance you did check off both Carolina wins. You ain't doing it today. No way. The way Carolina's playing and the way the Bucs are playing, the Bucs will not beat Carolina twice, okay? Can they? Yes, 100%. They can lose twice, too. So that's what's so great about football. Football, it flips real quick. And if you'd have told me 4 weeks ago that the Carolina Panthers were going to beat the Rams, you're out of your mind. If you'd have told me last week that Carolina was going to beat the Rams, I would say you're out of your mind. Look how good the Rams look. And Carolina messed around and beat the Rams yesterday. Okay? So Carolina is a good football team. Tampa Bay can be a good football team, but we aren't consistently a good football team. We're just not. And we're definitely not a good enough football team to say that we're going to go into anywhere and just win, okay? But hopefully they use this as a shift. Now, they ended a 3-game losing skid, which you have to figure out ways to end those. And the Cardinals are one of those teams that the Cardinals always figure out ways to lose close games. They're that team. I think they had a statistic up there, 4 points and less. The Cardinals have lost all the games, and the Buccaneers have won all the games. And here the Buccaneers are figuring out ways to win close games. So when you're doing your evaluation of coaches, and it would be Todd Bowles, winning close games is a very big part of evaluating coaches, all right? Now, Baker Mayfield played in that game yesterday. A lot of people thought he wasn't going to play. I don't know if they win with Teddy Bridgewater in that game. I'll never know. But the AC joint that Baker Mayfield had, I had the injury before, and I've always joked around that I've had every injury known to man. AC joint I've had, it's one of those things that you can play, and it's not going to hurt you for the next week. I remember shooting my shoulder up to play 1 week, and to playing the Giants, and I played against Keith Hamilton, and he kicked the shit out of me. I just couldn't rotate my shoulder. It wasn't a good thing. But Baker was out there doing his thing, not being completely Baker, but acting like Baker a little bit. You saw Baker scrambling. You saw Baker getting down. I think that's the first time this year we saw Baker get down. Baker doesn't slide. He doesn't like it, clearly. And I think he joked about sliding a little bit yesterday, but we have to understand that Baker Mayfield, there's a few quarterbacks, when I mean a few, I mean a handful of quarterbacks that can exists just in the pocket and beat you. There's not many. Baker Mayfield's not really that guy. Baker Mayfield is a complete quarterback, but he's at his best when he's with broken plays, off script plays. Like Baker Mayfield's at his best. There's some quarterbacks that suck when it gets off script. You got to make them off script and then they suck. But Baker, I think that's when Baker shines, and it was just good to see him in that game yesterday because he's a spark. He's a spark of this team. Now, speaking of spark of team, the one thing I didn't see yesterday was I'm not seeing energy. Like, energy is a thing in football, okay? You see energy like I'm wearing my Indiana Hoosiers hat, okay? You watch the Hoosiers play defense, God dang it, they got energy. They're flying to the ball. I'm not feeling that from our Buccaneers defense, and I wish I would, and I'm not. Back in the day when the Buccaneers were great and we saw the great Simeon Rice get inducted into the Ring of Honor, congratulations. Go back and watch some of those defensive films. Our defense is not that. We are not that. And there's times when we lack energy. And lacking energy it's not conducive to victories down the back end of a season. It's not. It's just not. Offensively, I thought we played well enough yesterday to get it done. Having Bucky Irvin back is a big deal. Not so much statistically. He just brings bounce to our offense. He just makes our offense look that much more dynamic and that much scarier. We don't have an overly scary offense right now. We really don't. Like Ibuka, who had a big drop early in the game, I think one of the first few drives to mess up one of those drives. Chris Godwin had a big drop in the end zone. That was big. Our running game was just okay yesterday. When Bucky gets the ball, there's a little different, electricity to him. So it was good to see him back, no doubt about that. Now, our other offensive weapon, the great Tristan Wirfs, I jumped up off of my chair before he caught that ball. I saw it coming. I knew he was going to catch that, and I feel good that to see offensive linemen score touchdowns and see all the linemen get together, and I know they're going to have a beer celebrating that after the game. But it was just good to see Tristan, who has not been playing as well, still great, still one of the best, been kind of up and down. But you can tell that play is a play that they practice for probably many weeks on end. Every week they practice it. Maybe it'll be a situation, maybe because the timing was perfect. And, the Cardinals had no chance of stopping that. Now, the refereeing, I'm not a big guy to complain about refereeing. I'm just not. Okay? Because usually things even out. That holding call yesterday on Tristan Wirfs may have been the worst I've seen in the history, and since I've seen football and referees and whistles. When you punch a guy in front of you and you throw him down in front of you, Tristan Wirfs threw him down in front of him. It's impossible to hold somebody and throw him down in front of you. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. I don't know what Tristan Wirfs was pissed. If you don't allow an offensive lineman to do that, boy, you're giving so much advantage to the defense. And I know Tristan Wirfs was pissed. On the other end of the spectrum, Durham, that holding call you had, I think it was a Bucky touchdown. It was very close to a tackle. I'm not sure who taught you how to block that way, but whoever it was not overly proud watching that. Okay, but watching this offense, we didn't out anything the Cardinals yesterday, and I'm not making that a big deal because we scored more points, but we didn't really out anything the Cardinals yesterday, and I would have liked to have seen that. To win the game is one thing, but to come from the game and say we're clearly better than the Cardinals is hard for me to see. I didn't really see that. Defensively, we didn't make enough plays for me to be playing that team at home. All right? I heard even Todd Bowles say this yesterday. It might have been at halftime. It might have been after the game. I'm not sure. They need to improve on their tackling. The Bucs are not a great tackling team. Boy, it's hard to go very far in the playoffs and anywhere in football without tackling. The Bucs haven't been tackling that great, unfortunately. Yesterday was enough. They got it done. But moving forward, they're going to have to improve on that. That is for sure. That is for sure. Now, Carolina Panthers, who beat the Rams yesterday, are a legitimate football team. They're a legitimate football team coming up. And we have to understand, as Buccaneer fans, who are they hunting? Who are the Carolina Panthers hunting? It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And not now, not just last week. When this season started, the Carolina Panthers were hunting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won 3 or 4 straight years, the South. So we're the hunted. Well, that's who you're trying to be. And they got to play us 2 out of 3 weeks at the back end of the season that they have a chance to make the playoffs for the first time in a long time. We better be ready to catch a punch because Carolina's swinging. They swinging. And to beat the Rams at their game, you got to be impressed by that. I am. I'm impressed with what Carolina's doing right now. And our Buccaneer team, like I said, you can shift. Right now, we got to, we're heading upwards, but mess around and get a blip. We're playing New Orleans, okay? You're supposed to beat New Orleans. You get a little blip. We don't have time to come back down. It's been a roller coaster this year for the Buccaneers. It can't come back down again. I just don't think they can overcome that momentum. If you lose to New Orleans, our season's done. I'm just telling you, you can't. You got to beat New Orleans. We're better than Atlanta, I believe, although that's not a walk in the park either. Then you got Carolina twice, and you got a Dolphins team who looks completely different. So this season ain't over, man. But that's what's so great about football. 6 weeks ago, we were the best team in football. Now we're scraping and clawing. 3 weeks from now, we could be talking about once again being one of the better teams in football. They got a long way to go because offensively, they need to have more bounce. Defensively, they got to have a little bit more energy. And just as a whole, we need to figure out what we are as Buccaneers before the end of this season, okay? Because the season's coming to an end here real quick. And we've been talking about an identity, and we really still haven't found that identity. And usually if you don't find your identity by the end of the season, usually your season ends, unfortunately. Let's hope that happens in the next little while. If anybody ever wants to hit me up, it's easy to find me. I'm here at the Dignitary Cafe, or you can hit me up at Ian Beckles Show on Instagram and also on YouTube as well. Hit the subscribe and all those kind of things you got to do. But I appreciate everybody listening in every single week. Kind of good for me to get this off my chest as I am a Buccaneer fan, and I watch every single snap, and I hope it turns out well just like y'all. So everybody have a wonderful week, and please stay out of trouble.
You know, some lawyers want to look like superheroes on a billboard, but which lawyers are regarded as superheroes in the courtroom? Trust the expertise of board certification.
Call Manny and Gordon or visit us at fightnegligence.com.